When shopping for a home in a homeowners association, it's really important to know the rules because not knowing them can be very costly and super aggravating. And they vary from community to community. The first thing that governs an HOA are what's called the covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or CC&Rs. That's basically the blueprint for the community. It pretty much tells you what that community is going to look like and how it's going to be managed. And they're also managed by bylaws, which are like the governance, the governing structure of the community. Those two things, the CC&Rs and bylaws, are very difficult and very costly to change, and they usually can stay the same for years and years and years. By the way, this says here, find a trusted real estate agent. Don't worry about that. You've got me. I'll answer anything you need to know. So let's jump into now the other part of the rules of a community are the what's called the house rules, and these are changeable and they can change at the will of a governing board, a board of directors. So just to give you an example, my community over the past 50 years has had multiple pet policies. One stated that you could not walk your dog anywhere in the community. You had to leave the gates of the community to walk your dog. Then they eliminated dogs altogether, so anybody who had a dog could keep their dog, but no new dogs could come in. Now we have dogs. Everybody seems to have a dog, and you can walk them pretty much anywhere. But that can change at the will of the board. So in every community, there's always some guy who's going to tell you, I don't follow the rules. I do whatever I want. There's one in everywhere you go, I promise you, but those are usually people who have racked up arguments and bills and lawsuits and everything else with the board. Don't fall into that trap. So the areas that they tend to focus on, the house rules, the ones that are so changeable, landscaping, what you're allowed to plant, what you're not allowed to plant. There's usually an approved tree list or an approved shrubbery list, and they will fine you if you don't weed your garden. It depends on the community, of course, and how aggressive the board is. Vehicles and parking, a lot of communities limit the number of vehicles you can have. They restrict, you can't have commercial vehicles or boats or trailers in the community, and they will tow vehicles if they're parked in the wrong place. They'll have rules about whether or not you can rent your home. This is super important, especially if you live down south where you might want to be using your home as an Airbnb or a rental. Some communities do not allow you to rent at all. Trash pickup, they can be very, very stickler about when you can put your garbage out, what kind of garbage you can put out, what day, and bringing your cans back in. You can be fined for that. Exterior storage, you're not always allowed to have like bicycles or we can't even, in my community, can't even have garbage cans outside. They must be stored in the garage except on garbage day. Again, there's that trusted real estate agent. You got me, call me, I promise. The number one thing that people always ask me about is the pet policy. Communities have breed restrictions, size restrictions, and restrictions on the number of pets you can have. So you know before you go. Noise restrictions. I don't know if you can hear it right now. The landscapers are outside my house, but in some communities you cannot make noise on certain days. On Sundays in my community, you're not allowed to make any noise outside. Holiday decorations. You'll see this all the time as an issue. When you can put up Christmas lights. If you're that person who wants your house to be able to be seen from outer space, do not live in an HOA. And design changes, you have to get permission for everything. A deck, a patio, solar panels, all those things will require approval from an architectural committee. So be very, very careful. What can they do to you if you don't comply? They're going to fine you, and depending on the way your bylaws and CC&Rs are written, they might even be able to put a lien on your home and foreclose on your home if you don't pay the fines. We've heard all of these horror stories about how fines can pile up and people have lost their homes over it. So let's be careful when we shop for a home in a homeowners association. Know the rules and make sure you can live with them before you buy there. Good luck.